It's not an issue of justifying what they did. Remember, this is a training exercise. This was developed by a company, and the training exercise is one that was designed to help train officers about biases. All right. As you heard at the end, it said that
bias against people who are uncooperative. We got to do what we got to do at some point.
That's correct. And you saw, right? And you saw how the narrator talk about that. How people are definitely have attitudes and have biases against law enforcement, and it's tough for you to do your job.
What I put out to our guys is be polite and respectful when someone gives you reason not to be. Go, ma'am, sir, please, thank you. But when someone talks to you like that, what do you know?
Yeah, that's right. You have to respond back to the way that you feel as a professional you should respond. All right? Just as you get it, I get it too when I'm out there as well. All right? So, but we are professionals. We are professionals, and it's tough. There's times when I go home at night and I, say, wow,
You draw attention to yourself by the way you act, and why do you get surprised when I react in an appropriate manner?
Well, again, as you say, there's people that draw attention to themselves. You as officers have to do your job. The question is, the thing is that how that job is done, how the engagement takes place, and how the disengagement takes place. And that's what a lot of the problem. Even the stops, it's not the stops that cause the problem. It's what's happened after the stop that creates the problem. See, and that's what we found. Now, and there have been a lot of complaints from the community. Yes, sir.
You keep going off of all these stops and searches. Has there been one verified complaint that has been shown true? You keep going off this percentage of all these traffic stops that we're searching all these vehicles, and that they're a majority of African Americans. But I would like to see where one complaint's been verified.
Well, you talking about in your department? Are you asking in your department? What? No, I'm not. See, you asked me a question. I cannot answer. I cannot answer the question whether or not.
Has anything that we've done been verified? Because everything right now is just allegations that have been put down.
Right. There are allegations, but I'm not the one to answer that question. That has to be done by your chief or the or Pat or your legal counsel person, right? Or whoever. They are the ones that addresses those complaints. So to answer your question directly, I cannot say if they have been verified. I don't know. But again, I understand how you feel, but remember, this is just a training to try to bring the perspective of what from the community people, how they feel. Granted, we don't have a lot of community people here. Tomorrow night, we hope to have more to get a clear understanding, and we're going to have some officers in the room tomorrow night. So hopefully we can get at some of those key questions and concerns. But like the gentleman said earlier, if an individual brings attention to him or herself, the officer has to do his job. So on the other hand, which also said that some community members say, yeah, we want officers to do their job, all right, but they want to do their job in a fair and equitable manner according to how they were trained.
Which means we should be respectful to the people we stop.
Well,
we should be respectful, and we should not be showing our biases. Is that correct?
No. If you,
then I expect the same in return.
Well, nobody not questioning. Nobody not questioning that. But as in the position you have, do you think every time you make a stop that you're going to be respected? You expect it to happen, but it's not always going to happen. All right. The question is that you saw the video is how do you handle that? That's all that training video is about. How do you handle it if they're not respected?
By relying on my training and continue to be respected.
What that means
that doesn't answer why they continue to act like an ass.
Right. But the point is, that's them, and you probably run into more of them.
About the fact that you're trying to tell me that I'm supposed to suck all that up without complaint.
Well,
that's okay for them to act like it. It's not okay for anybody to act like it. You're in the house of God, telling people it's okay for them to act like that.
And that's true. It's not. No, I didn't say it was okay for them to act like that.
Then tell them it's not okay to act like that.
Well, tomorrow night we will cover it. The people are not here, but the point is, as I said earlier, just as law enforcement want respect, the community people want respect. And so it's both ways. It's not one or the other. But there's times that you have to do your job. You have to do your job, and that job sometimes means some form of force.
I can answer up to
Okay?
him.
So I just want to share that.
I can answer up to,
What is it?
I
Okay.
can answer up to him.
Yeah.
What's expected of you is you act in a professional manner. You would go about business the way you would conduct business as a professional. And we all know in this business, you're going to have thick skin. And that's the bottom line there. And we can sit here and we can say, well, gee, we want that same respect. Well, guys and gals, you know, that's not going to happen all the time. But what is expected is that you act accordingly the way is expected of a Fayetteville police officer. No more, no less. Period.
We pretty much put the end of this training. I just want to say is this. In this particular slide, it's basically raising questions what the challenge is. And the challenge is, again, trying to get both sides to see things together. This is the perception. What you have is perception, not so much reality. It's a perception. Now, if you ask me the question that in regards to the perception and whether or not those perceptions based on investigation proves to be correct, yes, there is case law in those cases that actually has occurred. But a lot of times, many times they're not correct. There are people that may have issues with law enforcement, and sometimes a lot of times make false accusations against law enforcement. That's why the person is asked that they have to submit affidavits, verifying with witnesses, verifying what they say is actually factual and true. And then when you get to that point, and even sometimes I think in NAACP, when a complaint is filed, they ask people to write their complaint in regards to exactly what happened. Right? And sometimes they don't do that. They do it because a lot of times it's a matter of, hey, they want to put forth an allegation which they can't really verify. They're upset because they got a ticket, upset because also made said something to them that they like, and that sort of thing. So, in trying to help better relationship is basically, again, getting community leaders, community people, sitting down with law enforcement officials to work out whatever the issues or the concerns that are impacting the broader community, how that is perceived. How is that perceived? All right? So that's the key. That's the key to address it. It's the communication. It's communication. And that also means having part of that group is those people that are complaining the most. Make the offer. So let's be, okay, come and let's sit down and let's talk. Be part of this committee, this task force. If they don't do that, then you have a good idea of where they're coming from. All right? Are there any questions? Good. Yes. Go ahead. Let me get the mic.
I want to say to all of you, my intent was not to offend you. When I walked in the door, it was stated that you wanted folks to be blunt, and I was blunt. No, I don't know. I can't prove anything, but I say to you a belief. And I say to you, I don't believe the majority of you guys. I think you do an excellent job. I think you do exactly what you're supposed to do. However, I'm not putting down all law enforcement. We can't survive this country as a community without strong law enforcement. However, I stated a belief. And I believe that when time comes, you're going to find that our beliefs regarding some things are going to prove to be true. But again, I apologize. No offense. I did not mean any offense against any of you all that wear the badge. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from anyone that probably didn't get a chance to talk today? Is there any questions or comments? Queries? Okay. Comment. Okay.
With the millions of hours of police video on traffic stops across the country, and this problem being so rampant, why are we having to create scenarios by unpaid actors or novice actors or police officers here instead of pulling real videos of real scenarios? That anytime I see the news there where police misconduct, it makes the news, the video shown, and can't believe this officer did that, and most officers are like, oh man, I can't believe, now we have to deal with that. We suffer the actions of the few, amongst us all. Why can't we use real scenarios based off of real training video or patrol videos there instead of creating these slanted scenarios here for training, for discussion?
Well, answer that question. As I said, we had one of our colleagues who led the development of the training. But what I want to say is this training was developed with the collaboration, in this case, the first video with the Fairfax County Police Department. But even with that, before we rolled out the training, it was reviewed by community leaders and other law enforcement organizations and officials around the country to be used as basically as a training module. And we was asked to put together a training module because of the increased concerns of racial profiling at the time and how to give some type of aspect of providing tools because how community and police can work together to address the allegation of racial profiling. So,
Basically, they couldn't find real video.
no, that's not.
That's a good training module. It's a training module. It was developed by the Department of Justice, used across the nation for police departments. So we're just one of many police departments that uses it as opposed to putting video of our own.